Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're going to continue on with the show covering our division leaders. This week we doing the AFC South.
This is week 8 of 8, man.
Boy, it went by quick.
We finally got through it. So
just to kind of go through who we doing today, it's going to be the Tennessee Titans, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Indianapolis Colts, and the Houston Texans.
The Scrooston Texans, bro.
Who you rolling with this week?
Man, I'm going to go with the quarterback I believe in the most, the defense I believe in the most, and for a guy that's not really done it very long, the head coach I believe in the most. I'm going to go with Indy, man. I really think Indy's they're going to do some special things this year, bro. I think another year of Andrew Luck being healthy.
So you believe in Andrew Luck more than Nick Foles? Nick Foles won a Super Bowl.
Nick Foles got to do it a whole year, man.
He won a Super Bowl, man.
He can't just come in at the end and be Captain Save-A-Ho. He got to do it all year long.
Hey, that's what I've been trying to tell y'all.
He got to do it all year. So I believe in him more than Nick Foles, more than Deshaun Watson, more than Marcus Mariota. I don't know, man. Every one of these teams has a really good defense.
Yeah. Well, Jacksonville defense was questionable last year.
They're good, man. I don't know what last year was. If it was they just finally got exposed, or if it's just
it kind of just felt like they quit.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think with me, man, I'm rolling with none other than the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee, absolutely not.
No, man, you can't do that.
Man, I'm going with the team that got the best quarterback in my division, or in my opinion, I'm sorry. And that's the Houston Texans, man.
Ooh.
That's the Houston Texans. I mean, I think Andrew Luck is a pretty damn good quarterback. He can throw the ball, but Deshaun Watson is a dual threat, man. He can run it. He can throw it. They got a weapon in DeAndre Hopkins. That defense is outstanding. They added a running back. I forgot his name, but Duke Johnson. They added Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
He's pretty damn good. Now, he's not no Ezekiel Elliott or Saquon Barkley,
right,
but, a tier 2 running back, that's
I think
pretty
he's better
damn
than
good.
Lamar Miller.
And Alfred Blue.
Yeah. Definitely better than Alfred Blue.
That was an upgrade there. They got a defensive dominant player on that defensive line, J.J. Watt. The only question with Houston to me is their offensive line, because he was second in the league in getting sacked last year after Dak, I believe. So, he was first.
Mm-hmm.
He was first and Dak was second. Yeah. So, I think the Houston Texans, man, they're going to have a pretty goddamn good team next year, and I think they'll win that division again.
So after seeing the playoffs last year and seeing how everything played out, Indy went into Houston and just
they waxed them.
They wiped the floor with them.
They waxed them.
So you give me that. You give me, like I said, Andrew Luck healthy again. You give me that offensive line. He's got that offensive line looks like our offensive line did when we first started putting it together.
It did. It was pretty good.
They're only going to get better from there. So the big guys up front, they don't really get a lot of recognition. That's why your boy's sporting that Zach Martin.
Big Zach.
Shout out to Zach Martin. But, yeah, man, I think Indy's the team to beat.
Well, let me ask you this. What you think the Jacksonville Jaguars going to do? I mean, they added Nick Foles, gave him a nice little contract. Like I said, he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And
he played amazing in the Super Bowl. And he had a good little stretch of games last year before he got traded with Philly. And you can make an argument. Had Alshon Jeffries caught that ball in New Orleans last year,
they would have kept going.
They would have been back. They would have played the Rams.
Yeah.
So,
I'll tell you this, and you tell me if I'm wrong. You tell me what you think. I think Nick Foles is a vast improvement over Blake Bortles.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely.
So you just went from a tier 3, tier 4 quarterback.
Tier 4.
To like a tier 2-ish.
The low end of
maybe
tier 2.
Tier 3, yeah, like right in there with Nick Foles.
But like you said, man.
And that's what they needed. I think Blake Bortles hindered that team. They have a running game with Fournette there. They've got some receivers. What don't they have? A guy that can get the ball around.
But like you said, I agree Nick Foles does have to do it for a whole season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you had a great stretch in the playoffs. You had a great couple games, when you started to see, well, not great, but they were okay. I mean, in my opinion, Nick Foles saved the Philadelphia Eagles.
He's won the games that have mattered the most.
Exactly. And I can't say that Carson Wentz would have won those games because we haven't seen Carson Wentz in those games.
Right.
But Nick Foles is definitely a step up from Blake Bortles. Absolutely. Where he falls in that division, he's probably 3. Tennessee probably has the weakest quarterback of all 4 teams. But Tennessee was pretty damn good last year, man.
That running game came alive.
I mean, Derrick Henry's hurt now, right?
Derrick Henry, I don't know if he's hurt, but he came through in the clutch at the end of last year. He finally became that running back that they were expecting and hoping he would be.
Right.
So that run game really came alive, but Mariota was hurt.
Yeah.
He was not healthy. If Mariota's healthy, I think they said in his throwing hand he couldn't feel these 2 fingers, the ring and the pinky. So
I mean, to me, Mariota, I just think he's overrated, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think he's what everybody hypes him up to be. But their defense.
Do you remember that draft, bro? When it was Mariota and Jameis Winston and the fight that there was between like who was going to get who?
And they right there together, in my opinion.
And that thing fizzled.
Yeah, they right there together, in my opinion. And Jameis is pretty damn low on the totem pole of quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's definitely at the bottom end of.
And honestly, just to be honest, I think Jameis and Mariota are both overrated backups.
They're serviceable. I wouldn't mind having them as a number 2 guy. I'd take one of those guys over Mike White or Cooper Rush.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. They're not quite starter material, but those are the guys that, hey, your quarterback's out a couple weeks.
You're okay with them being in, but that's what I'm saying.
You let them bus drive it for a couple weeks and you're good.
I mean, Marcus Mariota, Tennessee as a whole, I think Tennessee has a pretty solid team. The quarterback position is just questionable. The defense is okay. They just signed their safety. I can't think of his name right now. I think it's Kevin something.
Mm-hmm.
But they just signed him to a nice little deal. I think they made him the highest paid safety. They got a nice linebacking core. Defensive line is okay. But their head coach, Mike Vrabel, I like him as a head coach, man.
Yeah.
He actually played for the Cowboys back in the day.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he played for the Cowboys back in the day.
I know he was a Patriot.
Yeah, there too. But I think they're pretty good, bro. It's just, to me, Tennessee being on or competing with Indy, competing with Houston, and now Jacksonville with Nick Foles.
With a legitimate quarterback.
It's kind of like, bro, where y'all going to fall in place, because your quarterback is questionable most times. Your defense, they can be good when they need to be good, but for the most part, they're questionable.
Yeah.
You always got players hurt. And then you look at these other teams, like the only thing that was holding Indy back was the offensive line. If Andrew Luck had an offensive line when he first was drafted, Indy would have been the team to beat in that division.
Andrew Luck last year showed you what Andrew Luck was supposed to have been his entire career.
Right.
And I think he's led the league in sacks taken. He was hurt. His shoulder was jacked. They didn't have any way to protect him. There was no way to beat around that bush.
Mm-hmm.
He was just unprotected, and he suffered. His career suffered, and a lot of people were down on him. A lot of people were like, you know what, he's not a bust, but he never lived up to the hype. Last year, came back healthy. They've got that offensive line looking real nice, and like I said, he's showing you that, hey, I was worth the hype. I was better than RG3 ever was, for sure.
I mean, they drafted the offensive guard that they comparing to Zach Martin, and that dude was a beast last year, man. I forget his name, but Indy stepped it up, bro. I mean, T.Y. Hilton is a damn good receiver. He don't get the respect he deserves.
He really doesn't. Like he's a quiet guy,
Yeah.
but he's always up there.
And it's crazy because T.Y. Hilton and DeAndre Hopkins, they do not get the credit that they deserve.
No. Nah. You think of the louder guys like an
Yeah.
AB or like Julio's not really loud, but you think, he's physically.
The Odell Beckhams.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got these guys, man, like, look at what Deshaun Watson was able to do last year. He took that team. He stayed healthy the whole year. He took that team to the playoffs, and he was amazing last year. The only knock you can give him, get the damn ball out of your hands, man, because you took like 59 sacks.
Bro,
So,
when we played him, he tried to run with the ball, and
boy, Jalen put that hit on him.
Jalen was swiping him up, So, yeah, I think Indy's gonna take it. I think Houston will probably compete for the wild card. That's just my opinion. Or if your prediction goes to plan and Houston wins it, I think Indy competes for a wild card.
I think Indy will compete for the wild card, man. But I gotta roll with Houston, and it's only because Deshaun Watson can throw the ball. He's just as good as Andrew Luck throwing the ball, but he can run the ball too. And now they added a running back that's just gonna expand the offense.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, man, that's probably, I would say that's probably the second most competitive, because we covered the first most competitive with what I said the North, AFC North. I thought that was the most competitive with Pittsburgh
Out the AFC,
right?
Okay, out the AFC side, yeah, because if you compare the AFC to the NFC, the AFC they don't hold a candle to competitiveness at all to the NFC.
Right, because we said it was the NFC South.
Right.
That was the most competitive in the NFC.
Right.
So, man, it looks like them South boys out there representing for the NFL, man.
We'll see, man. But overall, to me, I just think it's going to be two teams that go head to head. I don't think Tennessee is going to stand a chance. I think they come in fourth. Jacksonville, I think the 1 year that they were good is probably the anomaly. So they come in third. It's going to come down between Houston and Indy, barring a major injury.
Mm-hmm.
But Houston and Indy, man, just give me Houston for those reasons.
All right, man. Well, that sounds good. Let us know what you guys think. We're definitely excited to hear from you. And we'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.